Carrum Downs, affordable, suburban, growing. But is Carrum Downs more than just a quiet family suburb? Let's break it down from the streets to the stats and find out, is Carrum Downs worth it? Hey everyone, it's Ollie here, founder of Insighto Buyers Agency. Welcome to the Worth It series, where we don't just Google a suburb, we actually go there, do the groundwork, and give you the real story from the investor's lens. Today we're kicking off in a beautiful setting down in Carrum Downs, a suburb that is no longer under the radar with both investors and owner-occupiers. But it might just be that one of the Southeast's smartest long-term plays. I want to tell you why Carrum Downs has quietly become one of Melbourne's hottest investor spots, and also what to watch out before you jump in. Let me paint the picture. Carrum Downs sits about 36 kilometres southeast over Melbourne CBD in Melbourne's growth corridor. For years, it was overlooked, a blue-collar, family-friendly suburb, but that's exactly what makes it interesting now. You've got the local schools, the shopping centres, public transport, and easy access to the EastLink and the Peninsula Link, making it a popular base for commuters and families. And to add to that, plenty of parks. We're down here in Banyan Reserve today. You've got the Sandfield Reserve, the Carrum Woods Drive Reserve, and you've got a lot of green space interweaving between suburban houses, balancing it out. Now, let's look at the numbers as per our hashtag data partners. Median house price, $775 and climbing. Median weekly rent, about that $540 mid-mark. Your gross rental yield sitting at 3.64%. It's really above that 3% minimum rental yield that we're looking for in Melbourne. The IRSAD score, 3 out of 10, meaning that the suburb has a favourable socioeconomic profile, which usually points to a more stable capital growth over time. The supply is tight here, with just 0.18% stock on market at time of recording, approximately equating to 15 listings on real estate and 0.71 months of inventory. That's what we're calling a very tight opportunistic market from a supply perspective. Your Woolies, your chemists, Priceline, and right now, pretty much ticking everything that we have. Even your BWSs out there, looking for neat and tidy, basic amenities, everything that we all need to go and do our grocery run out. What we love about Carrum Downs, from an investor standpoint, you're buying into a tight supply, stable hold periods, and a strong rental fundamentals. Properties here are tightly held with an average hold period of almost 11 years, 10.75 years to be precise. And buyers are moving quickly. Listings here are only lasting on average 8 days on market, if not less. And that is simply mind-blowing. The suburb suits a buy and hold strategy, especially for investors looking for solid returns with a long-term capital growth play, with a neutral renter to owner occupier ratio at 25% and moderate unit to house ratio of 23%. There's a nice balanced housing mix, but houses are simply where the magic happens. And if you look at the building approvals, are extremely low at 0.07%, meaning no major flood of housing supply is coming in. And that is great for price stability and long-term capital growth. It has your Labubu too. Beautiful pork crackling. Can you smell that? On the northern and eastern side, closer towards McCormick's Road, Spencer Drive, and up north of Hall Road, Think of newer estates, smaller land sizes, brick veneer homes on smaller 350 to 400 lots. Now these are low maintenance, modern houses and tend to rent out quickly to the younger, smaller families and couples. Most of the market here sits on that smaller 400 square lot type lots, which makes it, if you think of it, a lot easier to maintain, smaller backyard. On the flip side, can also potentially cap the upside for future development. But I want you to take a step back. Don't be fooled by the lot sizes, as they're not your only key drivers of capital growth. Let's unpack why. I want to unpack a really important question for investors. Does land size matter for capital growth? And I'll show you why even smaller 400 lot sizes in Carrum Downs can still deliver a strong growth if you simply understand the driving factor behind capital growth, supply and demand dynamics. So Carrum Downs is a really interesting case study because you've got two clear different housing stock. On the one hand, you've got the older homes from the 80s and 90s, often sitting on that 600 to 650 size lot blocks, especially down that southern part of Carrum Downs. And then you've got the newer estates around Runnings, Carrum Road Drives, Cadle Road, Omega Street, where most homes are on your 350 to 400 lot sizes. Think more compact, more modern, low maintenance. So my question is, which one would give you better capital growth? Because let's face it, that's what, as investors, we're all about. A lot of investors like myself are taught to buy as much land as you can afford. The larger the block, the better. And that is absolutely true. That's because of a concept called the land to asset ratio. On paper, the bigger the block, it gives you better growth potential. Put simply, the more of your purchase price is tied in the land and the less in the depreciating value of the building, the more your property's value will track better with the market over time. Let's take, for example, a 700k property on a 600 square block in Carrum Downs probably has a land value of about 550k, and the old house itself simply worth 150. That's a healthy ratio. By contrast, a 650 newer home on a 400 lot might only have 450k in land value, and the more of it is then tied in the building. So generally, all things equal, the bigger the land will grow more with time, long term, because of its scarce part. But here's the kicker: demand today is shifting. Families and young couples are actively choosing the lower maintenance modern homes, even if it means getting a smaller backyard. Just think of less of a Saturdays and Sundays spent mowing. And the supply of the newer 400 square homes in the Good Street, close to EastLink and the schools, is limited. That scarcity of supply plus steady demand is what is supporting capital growth even on the smaller blocks. On the flip side, the older 600 square homes are more work, more maintenance, dated kitchens, dated bathrooms, and often located closer to the remnant of a commercial property in Carrum Downs. So it's not just about land size, it's about buying that land that the market actually wants today. Here's how I think about it. If your budget allows and you're happy to renovate, these 600 square blocks offer long-term upside and higher land value. If you want something with a lower risk and more rentable from day one, low maintenance, the 400 homes in the Good Street are your smart play, because it's tenant and owner occupier demand led, being quite strong, and even the land components are a lot smaller. So right now in Carrum Downs, the supply is so limited. Your days on market are sitting around that 8 days to purchase, and vacancy is only 2% and taking a steep decline. And let's face it, there's not a lot of land releases coming nearby. That imbalance of low supply and steady demand from owner-occs and investors is what is driving capital growth. And whether you're on that 400 square lot or the larger block sizes, don't just look at the land size. Think about the product type that this particular market accepts and demands, and the current incoming reducing constrained supply from a short term to medium term to a long term across stock on market, inventory, and building approval metrics is where your growth comes from. 400 square lots in Carrum Downs has the potential to give you that capital growth. Closer to Lyrebird Drive, you've got the 1980s homes on bigger blocks, but also a little bit more higher tenant turnover, a little bit more social housing presence, some of the older commercial housing pockets around that, Light Drive, Forraville Drive, Lascumber Drive, as per the Profile ID Social Atlas database. Sometimes, definitely the rougher feel. Now, those areas will still work if you're chasing yield or you're prepared to renovate, but you need to budget for high maintenance and be quite selective about the street. Not every street here in these pockets are investor friendly. Some parts have a reputation that put the off quality tenants at play. So Carrum Downs, is it worth it? Absolutely worth a look if you're after stronger yields in comparison to the standard Melbourne yields, affordability and a tight rental demand. But don't just buy blind. Be strategic about which pockets you're in and understand the trade-off between land size, street appeal and tenant quality. We've got good rental yield at 3.64%, favourable socioeconomics, super low stock and setting fast. Long-term confidence is definitely here for homeowners and equity investors. So if you're looking for a no-drama suburb with solid bones and long-term upside, Carrum Downs is a yes. It's a kind of place where patience will pay off, especially if you're ready to renovate, rent or hold for that long term. If you found this breakdown helpful, go ahead, smash that subscribe button and follow us on our socials at Insighto Buyers Agency for a lot more unfiltered data-backed property reviews. Next up will be in Seaford. See you in the next episode. Carrum Downs, affordable, suburban, growing. But is Carrum Downs more than just a quiet family suburb? Let's break it down from the streets to the stats and find out, is Carrum Downs worth it?